Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Kayla Sierra, hosted by yours truly. I'm really excited about today's video. I will be rating books and book series on whether I'd read them again, yes, no, or maybe. And I want to give a shout out to my dear friend Maria for recommending this idea to me. I have a lot of books to cover, so let's get started. We're going to start with our book series first, and first up is the Twisted Tales series. I have Rapunzel's story, Cinderella's story, and Tiana's. For Rapunzel's story, What Once Was Mine, I will give this a maybe. I don't remember a lot that happened in this book, but I remember enjoying it when I did read it, so I will give it another chance. For So This Is Love, this is a definite yes. I really enjoyed reading about Cinderella and Prince Charming. They were such a cute pair. And I remember getting really angry at certain points because it was like, how do y'all not know who the bad guy is? I knew who he was. How did y'all not figure it out until when they did? But this is a really cute story. And Cinderella is not one of my favorite Disney princesses, but this book has made her top tier for me. And last up, we have Almost There, which is Tiana's story. This is going to be a no. I was super excited to read this because Tiana is my favorite Disney princess, but I did not like it because of how Tiana acted. She was very cold and standoffish with her friends and her family, and that's not Tiana's character at all. I think the other two books stayed true to the character's personality, but Tiana, for some reason, she wasn't represented very well as she is in the movie, and so that was a very big disappointment to me. So that's why this is going to be a no, unfortunately. I wanted to like it, but I did not. And the next series that we have is the Housemaid series by Freida McFadden. The Housemaid and the Housemaid's Secret are going to both be yeses for me. I really enjoyed these two books. I read them very quickly. They were quick reads while also giving a lot of information, while I'll say were unnecessary. But I really enjoyed them. My sister has read both, and she really loves them also. Unfortunately, The Housemaid is Watching is going to be a maybe. I was a little bit disappointed with some of the characters in this book, and it was a lot longer than the other two, and I just felt like we could have gotten to the resolution and the climax a lot faster than we did, so that is why it is a maybe. Next series that we have is the Bridgerton series. First up is The Viscount Who Loved Me, which is Anthony's story. This is going to be a yes for me, although I would rather watch his season on Netflix. I did enjoy his book. It was really cute and refreshing, and Anthony's he's a rake. He's that man. So I was really happy to see that he found love and that he's happy now with Kate. Next up, we have Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is Penelope and Cullen's story. This is going to be a yes. I actually liked this book more than I liked season 3 of Bridgerton. I think a lot of people can agree with that. I love the interactions that we have with Penelope and Cullen in this book. Penelope is so sweet, and she really got the short end of the stick a lot of the times, which we saw in the season, but we didn't really get to see the love between them grow. We all knew that Penelope had feelings for Cullen, but I think the book really emphasizes that, and then seeing Cullen fall in love with Penelope as well. Even though Penelope was doing her thing, getting her bag as Lady Whistledown, and Cullen was jealous of that, I was like, okay, pipe down. Don't do too much on my girl Penelope. But they were very cute, and I will be excited to read this again. Last up, we have An Offer from a Gentleman, which is Benedict's story, and will be season 4 of Bridgerton coming up. This might be my favorite because I just love Benedict down. He's so... Okay, I'm sorry. But Benedict is probably my favorite brother, and this is like a twist off of like Cinderella. This is such a good book. Sophie is an amazing character. I don't even know what to say more than just I loved it. I could go into detail, but I'd be here forever, and we got stuff to do, y'all. I will be really excited to see season 4, although I'm going to say this, they better not mess up Benedict's character because of what they did in season 3, but I will be watching season 4, so yeah. Now that I'm done fantasizing about Benedict, we're going to move on to our next book series, which is the New Camelot series by Sierra Simon. This is not going to be too long. The whole thing is a no. I can only say, to those who have read this series and know what lies within these pages. My only excuse that I can give is that I must have been in a dark place in my life. I think I was new to reading smut and things, and so I was like, oh, this seems cute. And look at the covers. They're so pretty. Look at them. And what's in it is filth. Just filth. It's so dirty, and I can't read these again. The things within these books, not for me, my Christian heart, not no more. So unfortunately, these are a no. I did enjoy them back when I first read them, but I will not be reading these again. Next, we have the Off-Campus series by L. Kennedy. Since there are 5 books, I'm going to go through these really fast. So, yes, 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 and no. The Legacy is just a continuation of the other 4 books showing the characters after college, and I wanted to like it, but I really didn't have to. It's a one-time read. It's not something I would pick back up again. Like I said, I would definitely read these 4 books again. The goal is number 1. The Mistake and the Deal are tied for 2nd, and then the score is 3rd. Next up, we have the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. The fine print is a maybe, terms and conditions is a definite yes, and final offer is a no. As you can see, she is a real thick one, but I was disappointed because I didn't like how Alana was treating Cal in this book, and just the people in the town. I know, we all know who's read this series, that Cal struggles with alcoholism and he's wanting to be sober, but her and these people were just hating on him, and it felt like they were just dragging him down while he was trying to work on his sobriety. So yeah, this is a no. The next book series we have is the Twisted series by Anna Huang. Twisted Love is a maybe. I didn't really like Alex when he singing in books. That gives me the ick for some reason, because you obviously can't hear them sing. So I'm like, how do I know your voice was all beautiful and stuff? Because she said it was? Okay, that's an opinion, that's not a fact. I don't remember much of this book either. It didn't stand out to me as much as the other books, so yeah, it's a maybe. Twisted Games is a maybe also. The reason this is a maybe, other than yes, is because the fact that Reese and Bridget were almost related. I can't get with that trope. Any trope that's like, oh, we're almost siblings or we're not directly related. No! 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 I'm sorry, I just can't with that trope. It's really cute, and I love Bridget and Reese. They're a great couple, but that alone was like, why would she do that? So yeah. Twisted Hate is up next, and this is going to be a yes for me. Although Josh is a dick and Jules is a little annoying, I really did love reading their story, and they had a lot of tension between each other. I will say that. That was very clear, and I think they both just needed to soften to each other, and that's exactly what happened. So I would definitely read it again. Twisted Lies is last, and she is a definite yes. This is my favorite from the series. And when I first heard about it, I thought that Christian was the one stalking Stella, which is wrong. He is not stalking her. I do believe he did stalk her, but he's not the one currently stalking her within the book. She's really sweet. Stella is amazing, is an amazing character. I think she might be one of my favorite fictional female characters that I have, but I don't like the lying, which is what all these guys do. We see it in all romance books. The guy always does something that makes the girl upset, and the girl's, boo-hoo, oh my gosh, he hurt my feelings. And so it was bound to happen. She found out what he did, and of course she was upset about it, but I think that the groveling was amazing. Chef's kiss. So I forgave him, she forgave him, why not? But yeah, me and my friend are both agreed that this is our favorite. I think between this one and Twisted Hate, we're like, But yeah, I would definitely read this again. Next up is the King of Sins series by Anna Huang. This is going to be another quick one. All of these are unfortunately a no. It very much gave Twisted series, and not to say that's a bad thing, but I couldn't help but feel like I was just reading the Twisted books all over again. I didn't feel drawn to the characters at all, which reading billionaire books, you see that a lot, to where these characters, you see them in other books, you even see them in TV shows and films and things like that. So they didn't feel different. They didn't feel authentic. They felt overused to me, and it's one of the reasons why I actually stopped reading billionaire romances, because I just didn't feel the spunk I felt in the beginning. But I know this is a popular one, and she's still writing them, so maybe one of the books that she puts out will be the standout for me. But unfortunately, I am going to DNF this series. We're going to switch up the genre a little bit and go to ACOTAR by Maas. A Court of Thorns and Roses is going to be a no for me. It doesn't stand out compared to the other books. A Court of Mist and Fury is a definite yes for me. I really enjoyed it from start to finish, which was a surprise to me, because since I didn't really care for the first one, I was worried that this one wasn't gonna give what I was hoping it was gonna give, but it absolutely did. I loved Freya and Rhys together. He helped her from the jump. He never made her feel like she was a prisoner, which is what Tampon did to her. I love that she finally found a family within the Night Court as well. And although I was upset that Tampon took her in the end, and I was freaking out during that part, and when she went back willingly, I wanted to be like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? But she's not. And her being the High Lady was such a plot twist to me. I was really happy to see that. So yeah, I would definitely read this book again. Last up is A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is another yes. It's my favorite from the series. All I can say is that I went through a lot of emotions reading this book, and my friend who put me onto this series definitely was eating it up. She loved every bit of my text messages that I was giving her, and then when I called her crying, she thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, this put me through the ringer, but I really enjoyed it, and I definitely read it again. Last up for the book series is the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. I read Fourth Wing twice, and I read Iron Flame once. I will be rereading both of them really soon, because Onyx Storm, the third book of the series, comes out in January, which I'm super excited about. I don't know what else I can say about this series, other than if you have not read it, go buy it immediately. I will say that I'm hoping what happened in Iron Flame gets resolved, because that was not okay. But other than that, I love this series so much, and I highly recommend it. Alright guys, that is it for the book series. We're going to now jump into the individual books. I will be giving my Would I Read It Again and my rating. I've grouped all of these books in their star rating, so first up is 3 stars. The 2 books I gave 3 stars to are Hooked by Emily McIntyre and Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score. I would not read Hooked again. It was very weird how James and Wendy have the same brother. I don't understand how that's deemed okay, or it's even like a thing like, ooh, that makes me like this person more. That's just weird to me. And their love gave very much possessive. It wasn't sweet, or even just like, oh yeah, like yeah, they love each other. It was Stockholm syndrome. She fell in love with James because he kidnapped her, and he hated her dad. That's why they started. It was weird all around, and I didn't like it. I also wouldn't read this book. I didn't like how Luke was treating Harper when all she was doing was just trying to be helpful and be there for him. I understood that he was still suffering from the loss of his spouse, his wife, but that didn't give him the reason to treat her so badly and push her away how he did. He was just so harsh to her, and she was already going through a lot with running away from like her past and things like that, and he just made it so much worse. Also, he sang. I like men singing in real life. Books, it's weird for me. It's because I can't hear what you're saying, and I can't hear how you sound. So all I have to go off of is what the person wrote in the book. And to me, when I read about people singing in books, my opinion is just like, okay, you sound horrible. That's immediately where my mind goes. I don't know why, But yeah, I couldn't get down with how he was treating her. And so ultimately it's a no. Next up are the books rated at 4 stars, and starting us out is My Darling by Amanda Robson. It's been a while since I've read this book, but I would definitely read it again. It gave off the same vibes as I got from the Housemate series, where I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And I couldn't connect the dots until the very end, and it blew my mind of what was happening. But this is a very good book. It draws you in, and the characters are really well developed, so I would recommend it. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson is a definite reread. I loved it so much, and I was glad to see that they made it into a TV show, which is on Netflix, and I highly recommend. I love this book from start to finish. I think the only thing that gave it 4 stars was just like, okay, you're a high school student, and for me, I'm not going to be investigating a murder, not to the lengths that she was going. Sis was giving much she didn't care about her life, and she was just going to the depths of like danger. Not I, says the mouse. But it's a really good book, so I highly recommend it, and the show on Netflix. Lastly, we have Aphrodite and the Duke by J.J. McAvoy. This is a really great second chance romance book. I would definitely read it again. If you are a fan of Bridgerton and love period dramas, highly recommend. Lastly, we have our books rated at 5 stars, and I will be using one word to describe each of them. The Wives by Taryn Fisher, yes, and insane. Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, yes, and beautiful. My Stubborn Heart by Becky Wade, yes, and funny. Once Upon a Prince by Rachel Hawk, yes, and inspiring. Cedar and Ella by Kelly Oram, yes, and gut-wrenching. The Princess Bride by J.J. McAvoy, yes, and compassionate. Little Secrets by Jennifer Hiller, yes, and destructive. Last but not least, we have Long Shot by Candy Ryan, yes, and captivating. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I know I went really fast, but if you have any questions about any of the books I mentioned or the book series, please feel free to DM me on Instagram or put any questions in the comments below. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and share this video with all your friends. I've been Kayla Sierra, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!